Hello, and good morning, everybody. Good morning. Can we hear me? Hello, good morning. Hi, can you guys hear me? I'd like to get a feedback in the chat section if you can hear me. I want to be sure that everybody on the call today can hear me. Can I just get 1 or 2 highs or good morning in the chat feed section, so I am sure that you can hear me? Beautiful. Yes, you can. Good morning, everybody. Welcome again to another edition of the Hosts Now Activate webinar. Once a month, every month, we have conversations around different topics within the tech ecosystem, within the tech space on our Hosts Now webinar. Something to help people build their interests. That's for people who are intending or aspiring techies, build their interest in technology. And then also we bring in people, to share insights from time to time with the audience. This happens once a month, and we make sure to keep it consistent so that we can begin to contribute to the community development of the tech ecosystem in Nigeria. And not just that, we're particular about helping the tech ecosystem grow, doing our bit to make sure that the tech ecosystem grows. And that's why we're here again today. So I'd like us to sit back and, relax and everything. So everybody's, as it is, what's the word I would use? Yes, so we can all learn the best way possible from the panelists, that we've got here today. And just so we know, we've got like really awesome folks here today. These are guys that have done so much within the tech ecosystem. And I know, particularly because I've worked with a couple of them over time, and sincerely, it's going to be really interesting. I'd like you guys to all get ready for that. Just to do a quick housekeeping to let you know how this goes. Basically, we spend 1 hour 30 minutes on this call from the beginning till the end, and we'll get into introduction of both our speakers. I'm sorry, pardon the noise. Let me get that off here. Yeah, sorry. Okay. So, yeah. We basically will get into introductions. From introductions, we'll take the first keynote by the first keynote speaker. Then we'll take the second keynote by the second keynote speaker, and then we'll go into the panel session where we ask questions and then give answers to them. Insights will be shared around those questions asked, right? So I'd like us to please get questions ready while the first and the second keynote speakers, while they're sharing their keynotes. I'd like you to pen down your questions if you have any questions before now that has bothered your mind about the topic, which is pivoting into tech. I'd like you to get those questions ready. Please make your questions as relatable as possible. If possible, get personal so that we can, be very direct with the kind of answers that we give to your questions. And as soon as we're done with Q&A, we'll take a few feedbacks, and then that'll be it for the day. So basically that's how we run, and that's exactly what's going to happen today. So I'll just like everybody to sit back. If you have questions and you want to post them on the platform, there's a Q&A feed on the Zoom platform. If you notice at the bottom of your screen, you'll see the Q&A feed. Please post questions inside the Q&A feed so that it is easy for us to find those questions and interact with them. It's easy for us to find those questions and answer them either live or directly on the chat feed there. If you have comments, observations and stuff, you can post that in the chat feed section. You see the chat icon just below your screen there. But if it's the Q&A, if it's a question, please put it in the Q&A feed so that we can get to it. All right. I'm going to introduce our first speaker right away. Right, I can see he's here already. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you Akinola Abdulakeem. Hello, Akinola, how you doing?
Not so fast. Hold on, I'm coming.
Okay, all right. I think we need to get a few things sorted there. But yes, we have two speakers today, as some of us might already know. We have Akinola Abdulakeem and we have Efosa Uwoghiren, right? Akinola and Efosa have done a lot in the tech space. Hi, Akinola. Can you hear me? Hello, Akinola, can you hear me?
I don't know, you are skipping. Your
I
internet connection is unstable. Yes, I think my internet connection is bad. I'm going to fix it.
Okay.
That's unusual.
Okay. I mean, Nigeria happens to everybody at some point in time or the other. People say that when you know that you get very good internet, it might be the days when you really need them that one or two things might skip. I remember a senior colleague of mine, more like my boss, was on a call with some of our international partners a while ago. Very important call. It was money call. We're talking about millions of dollars in investment kind of call, right? And there were lots of people on that call. Everybody was pitching for their own part, pitching their own business so that, they could secure their spot. And we've had very beautiful internet all through. Just at the point when my boss was supposed to speak, his internet just went off. MTN happened to him and his internet went off. And the first thing he said is, Emmanuel, let Nigeria not happen to you. So I was just explaining an experience I had when, where that sometimes, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, of course, I can hear you. I said, how do you know it's MTN?
I never knew it was MTN. I was just explaining that story. I was telling them that story. But yeah, nice to have you on the call today, Akinola.
Thank you. I'm fine. I'm very fine. It's good to be here.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for taking our time to share insights with the community. So, as we all probably already know, Akinola is CEO at Aptpay. Before venturing into, Aptlearn rather. Before venturing into Aptlearn, he had built a software development agency called Swiftspeed, right? And he's built that for quite a bit, that for a few years before starting the EdTech that he currently runs today. And Akinola's startup is very important to most of us on the call today who are looking to get into tech. Just like the title of the webinar is Pivoting into Tech. A lot of us don't know how to start. A lot of us are, we're novices when it comes to tech, right? Platforms like Aptlearn would help you to navigate your way into the tech space the easiest way possible, the cheapest way possible. I know they've got free courses on the platform. I've checked it out myself. It is nothing short of the standard that you will find on, the other edtechs for, the tech ecosystem out there. So, I'm sure it will get to mention a few things about the platform to us sometime during the call, right? Thank you so much for being here, Akinola. We really appreciate your presence.
Thank you.
We're going to take your keynote. You're going to take your keynote right away. I think Efosa is still trying to join. I can say Efosa is our second speaker, but we'll take your keynote. As soon as we're done with that, I'll introduce Efosa and then we'll take his keynote as well. So, Akinola, you've got the floor.
Sure. Can you still see me?
Yes, we can. I'm going to spotlight you so everybody else can see you better.
Okay, you are putting me on a spotlight.
You'll be the boss now.
But it must be nice. Okay. So, good morning, everyone. It's nice to be here. My name is Akinola Abdulakeem, and ah, people fancy calling me Tech Bro, actually, per I'm into tech. Good morning, Joshua. Per I'm into tech, and I talk about tech a lot, especially on my social profile, which is Twitter. That's the place I'm most active, that I talk about tech a lot. So now let's talk about the topic that we have today. It's a very, very important topic. In fact, I host spaces a lot, webinar like this, where we get to talk about how did you get into tech. One thing is very important. Why getting into tech? If you miss the steps that you are supposed to take, you are going to get it all wrong and you are going to give up. So you need the right, mentorship, the right guide. There's a lot of guide online. If you happen to read, there is the right one, that may be right for you. It depends. The guides that are online may work for some people and may not work for some people. So if you get to read the one that may not work for you, you may end up giving up. Especially the aspect of tech where people give up the most is, the coding aspect of tech, the learning part, the engineering. I will address it as engineering part of tech, when you get to, be a software engineer, where you write codes, read codes, run codes. But there is more to tech than that. There's a lot of, there's a lot of places that you can, that you can navigate into in tech, which is often not talk about. What people focused on is the coding aspect, and good to speak now. Other aspects of tech are equally getting as much as the engineering aspect of tech are getting. A product manager, even some of them even get paid higher than developer does, because so, and then everybody is in tech at the end of the day. You're managing the actual product. So to speak, the project management aspect of tech, even the people that analyze the data that we use to improve the product. So now, I'm going to go through. Okay, so when you hear pivoting into tech, making pivots into tech, you may think it just means working for a tech company, but it's more than that. The goal, yeah, maybe at least all of us were going to school, or all of us were trying to we're trying to acquire skills just because we want to make money, just because we want to get jobs, yeah? And the end goal is usually money. But then when we talk about pivoting into tech, is more or less like we are talking about, how do you get into tech? Of course, how do you get into tech, and how do you pick the right, tech career for you? So you will need a hard technical skill in order to pivot into tech. This is what they will mostly tell you, but it is not true. There are, courses online that you can take, that, even a beginner, can take these courses, and then they can find their way into tech. So I'm just going to go into, things that can get you into tech, apart from the regular popular one. Everybody just believe that if you want to get into tech, just go and take this course, just go and take that course. What do you want to do? You first of all do, if before this whole public speaking thing, if somebody approaches me that you want to get into tech, my answer is usually, come and learn how to code, because I code. So, and everybody cannot do what you do. So you need to give people options. Okay, you want to get into tech? Let's talk. Let's have the conversation. Talk to me. Which aspect of the tech do you like the most? Which have you been eyeing? At least before you approach me, you must have done your individual research. Which one do you like the most? So I won't just give you a straight answer because I code, I'm a developer. I'm just saying, hey, I'll go and start learning app development. Go and start learning web development. It will favor, that's it. Zoom call. Yes, no, it's not happening. So, sorry, that's my co-founder. So, if you want to get into tech, I'm going to make this more interactive, more, so that everybody can understand what I'm saying. Before you get into tech, you need to know one thing. People in tech, some of us are perceived very proud, and we are not. We just don't have the time. So I can't, unless you are paying me for consultation, I can't sit down with you for hours talking about what you should do and what you shouldn't do. So you need to help yourself first. And there is a lot of resources to do so online. First of all, think about it. Which aspect of tech do I want to get into? And if you think about it, I mean, you seek knowledge so that you can understand things better. If you think about it and you can't pinpoint which aspect you want to get to, that is why you have Google search, and check different aspects of tech that there is, and then look for the one that is most suitable for you, the one that you have, that you think what that there is a lot of people that combine what they currently do with tech. For me, for example, I love to teach people. I love to impact knowledge. Yeah. So and then that was what brought the whole idea of me teaching people how to code on Twitter. And then when I see the turnout, it was very, very interesting. I see that a lot of people want to learn how to code without, but they could not do so because they don't have, they don't have the facility to do so. And by facility, I mean, equipment, I mean money, most importantly, money. So a lot of people up on the thread and they were taking it. So I thought about an idea like, okay, how about starting, an edtech startup that can actually compete with these big guys, getting in instructors, people that actually know, that are experts in this industry and can teach. I don't even mind spending my own money to, just get people to teach them. And then that was the whole idea that brought about Aptlearn. So we got in people that can teach the courses, they upload their courses, and students are going there to take it for free. For now, though, we are still going to have, a lot of courses that are paid. So what I'm trying to say is that you need to, define a purpose for, if I want to, what am I currently doing? Okay, how does it relate to tech? So you need to think about what you are currently doing. And if what you are currently doing is totally unrelated to tech, you can start from scratch. You can start afresh. So use Google. Okay, should I learn coding? They said this and this and this about coding. I think it will be hard for me. It is perfectly okay. Which aspect of which aspect of tech can I get into that I will not code? You can go into project management. There's a lot of online courses that you can take that will teach you how to manage an actual product, how to manage your team, And project management is combination of managing many products in a tech environment. When you're a project manager in a tech environment, that means you have, for example, now a project manager at Google may be managing two products, Google AdSense and Google AdMob. So it is categorized under project management. It's more or less like a senior role. And for product management, you are managing a singular product. Let's say I'm still going to use Google for example. Google AdSense, Google AdMob. So each of these products have product manager, each of the products. But for project manager, both of them are under one project manager. So that is how the role is. And what do you do as a product or project manager? You make sure that the product does not fail. You make sure that you continue to improve the product. You necessarily don't know, you necessarily don't have to be the coder. All you have to do is manage those coders to work hand in hand to produce what the company needs, what the user needs, because at the end of the day, users are the end goal. So that does not involve coding. You don't have to learn how to code. You just need your thinking faculty, your mental thinking skills. Like, how can you manage people? So if you know that you are this kind of person that you know how to talk people into things, like, if the way I am sitting with my co-host now, I can convince him to come and invest in Aptlearn. If I know that is my own power, that is the view power that I have, I can go into tech sales. There's a lot of money there too. Everybody just think that in a tech company, everybody is a coder. No, everybody everybody is not a coder in a tech company. There are, there is always an engineering department, the actual team that build the product. But then if you build a product and nobody is using it, it is not a product. So tech sales, there's tech sales where you get to talk about the products that you are building in your company, bring investors to your company, bring users, which is the most important to your company. And some companies set targets, others do not. They may give you a target that at the end of this month you must have bring 200 users to this product. So it is you that will now know how you are going to convince Taye in your house to be using the product. How are you going to convince Kehinde in your house to be using the product? So at the end of the month, you meet your target. While that is the case for most companies just do your work and convince as many people as possible. But if you know that you have these speaking skills, you have this approach, this management with people, you can go into sales, tech sales. So there are also a host of courses that you can take in that. There is that I've talked about. I want to categorize this into two. I hope my time is going. I want to categorize this into two. The coding aspect, and let me categorize it as the technical aspect and the non-technical aspect. So let me take the non-technical aspect first. I've mentioned tech sales. I've mentioned product and projects. Now, there is also something they call data science or data analysis. Data are what most companies use to improve products. Data are what most companies use to make money. I'm going to explain it to you. How does company use data to make money? Companies like big companies, big tech companies like Google, like Facebook, they bank on our data. Because I'm a user of those products as well. They bank on our data to make money. Let's say, for example, they have algorithms that are embedded into the social apps that, they know, especially Google. Google practically knows almost everything about you. And to find out, just, after this whole call, go to your Google settings and check your history. They know everything you browsed about, the social media that you went, things that you're talking about. Google knows everything you searched for. So this thing that they know is not, is not the actual thing that brings the money. What brings the money is the actual ads that they serve. So based on what you talk about, they will serve you targeted ads that you may likely click on. So when you click on those ads, the advertiser pays them. And that is, Google generates, the highest amount of revenue for a product in their company through Google ads. So it is these Google ads that they use to make money. Same as Facebook. Facebook, you may think WhatsApp is free. It's not. They use the data. That's why you see that you may be talking about a product that you want to buy. You want to buy a phone on with your friend on WhatsApp chat, and when you log into Instagram, you start seeing Dreamier phone ads because you've talked about phone, and then the algorithm picked it up. They are not necessarily reading your chat because they said it is end-to-end encrypted. They don't need to read it. All they need is an algorithm that can study what you are talking about so that it can serve you ads. So that's how data comes in. That is where data role comes in as a data analyst or data scientist. You help the company to analyze those data and to use it for improving the product or for generating revenue. So let's say in terms of improving the product, let's say I have a product now, I have an app, and you are having issues clicking some buttons on the app. So if we are able to analyze, some users are able to click the button successfully, but some are not able to click the button. So a data analyst to be able to identify this problem, to tell us the number of users that are able to click that button and the number of users that are not able to click that button. Let's say the number of users that are able to click the button is 98%, and 2% are not able to click the button for one reason or the other. We may not make that particular issue a priority fix, something that we may fix later. We'll just add it to our roadmap. But if 45% of users are not able to click the button, the product is gone. We look for a way to fix that button immediately. So that is work of a data analyst. I'm just citing an example. They help you to analyze the data, that why data analyst involves a little bit of coding, but it's more or less like you learning mathematics in secondary school. So that it's not really a bit of, it's not really coding like that. So I'm going to categorize it as non-technical part as well. data analysis. There's something also they call technical writing. If you know you are vast with these languages that we write in tech, and you know you can make documentations about them, there's something you call the technical writing, or you can teach people how to use a company's products. Let's say, big man, well done. Let's say in a company now, I have a company now, and then I'm going to use Aptlearn as an example because we have a technical writer. So what our technical writer does is that he does how to, you know, after finishing my my course, how do I generate certificates? A technical writer is in charge of that. He's going to write, click this button, click that button, go back, come to the front, and then at the end of the day, your certificate is here. Boom. So a technical writer documents, you know, the product, you know, they write about the product creatively that people are able to, you know, relate with. Again, there's another role that we have in our company, and that's, you know, marketing and communication. The person in charge, you know what like, I'm going to use the popular word, Bolanle from V. You know, the kind of newsletter stuff that she does, you know, that's also part. If you ask her, she works in a tech company, definitely, because V is a fintech startup. So, and then she may eventually not know how to code, but she knows how to write, she knows how to communicate with people via newsletter. So we have somebody like that too. We call her Uzi from Aptlearn. So she's going to walk you through everything that you are learning, how you can improve, how you can do better, and what, you know, what other things based on what you are learning, what other things she can recommend for you to learn. So, you know, these roles are not technical, and they are in a tech company, they are working in a tech environment, and they are getting paid. So, you know, you don't necessarily have to, because I see a lot of people get, you know, a lot of people just, you know, get disoriented about, you know, coding, and a lot of people do not like it because technically, I won't lie to you, it is hard, especially if you are just learning. So, and it is not by force to go into coding aspect of tech. It's amazing, it's inviting, especially the we that we are into it, we are giving it the right PR, we are inviting people to learn. Doesn't mean that you have to do it. If you think it is too technical for you, it is unnecessary to do it. Just, you know, look for all these aspects, all these non-technical aspects that I've mentioned, and go and go into it. Now, let's get to technical aspect. For me, I started with mobile application development. And the reason being that I just like, you know, when I finished my learning, I took probably something we'll get into later. So when I got into learning, I started with app development because it was the fastest way to make money for me at the time. That was the motivation behind going for app development. You need a motivation, you need a reason. You know, I mentioned it earlier, you need a reason why you are doing an aspect of tech. And my whole reason, money motivated, that okay, I have spent, because my parents and everybody, when I was learning, this kind of accessibility, this kind of access that we have now is not there. So we pay a lot of money to actually learn it, you know, millions of naira. So, and you know, it got to a point that, you know, I need to show something for it, at least funded it, they need to see me doing something, like not like I just wasted their money. So I just started, I see that app development could make me money very, very fast. And what is the idea? I just created, you know, I created an app, my first app. Hey, am I being heard?
Yeah, we can hear you. The line is breaking a little bit, but we can hear you.
Okay. So my first app was, you know, was an app that students can use. My journey is always revolving around education, and I love it because I love educating people. My first app is, you know, an app that could help jam. Yeah, it could help them in a way that they can take past questions, they can communicate with each other in a community, like, you know, a chat page where they can communicate that, what are you studying? Chemistry, what is this question, what is this answer? And then, you know, they can also take past questions in the app. That was my first app, and I uploaded it on Play Store. It was massive, and it got up to 100K downloads before, you know, I finally, you know, tried something else. So he got like 100K downloads. And how do I make money from this? I wasn't charging students for it. I just integrated what we call Google AdMob. I mentioned it earlier. So Google AdMob is an advertising network that Google gives to publisher that, okay, if you put this ad on your apps, depending on the number of clicks that you get, we're going to pay you so amount of money. For AdSense is more or less like for websites, while AdMob is more or less like for mobile app. So it was the AdMob that I used on that app. And imagine I have like 3,000, 4,000 daily active users that come on the app to practice past questions. And then, some of them click on ads. And then when they click on ads, it generates revenue for me. The money I generated from there was what I now used to, venture into my other stuff that I later did. In fact, if I didn't have that idea, I don't know where I could have been when it comes to tech. But, so that was the app. I developed that app. It was perfect and everybody was using it. I was happy. But, I would say if you're a person with aspiration, some things are just not enough. You just want to do other things. You want to venture into me, I want to become a billionaire. I have that vision, and so I just want to do other stuff that brings me more money than just sitting behind and just an app that is even limited to Nigeria. So I developed other stuff after then, and then I looked into developing website, and I learned mobile development. So if you want to go into the technical parts, you can think, do I want to go to fastest way to make money is creating an app, honestly, and integrating ads. You're going to make money that way as long as people download and use your app. And if you go to web development as well, you can decide to learn front end or back end. Back end is, it has more money. You can learn front end as well. Your coding languages that you can use in front end are HTML, CSS, JavaScript, TypeScript, and for back end you can use PHP, Django, Python, and all that stuff. There is also cloud computing if you want to be in charge of servers. Most of these websites and apps are hosted on the server. So if you want to be an expert in those, you can let cloud computing. And there's also cybersecurity, where most fintech companies per se, they employ the work of cybersecurity to prevent hacking and all of that. So thank you very much. Okay, just 2 minutes. 2 minutes after. So that will be all, and I'll be waiting for your questions.
Wonderful. Wow, what a wonderful and quite an insightful session. Thank you so much, Akinola. Guys, can we get some love in the chat feed section? I'm sure by now, if we were physical, the claps would have been rolling in, but we can still get some reactions in the chat feed section virtually. I mean, let's show some love to that. That was quite insightful. Thank you so much for sharing. I had to sit back and learn from scratch all over again. It was quite very easy to understand. And thank you for breaking things down to the grassroots. I particularly like that you differentiated I prefer to call it engineering and non-engineering roles in tech, right? And you called it technical and non-technical roles in tech. Yeah, I like that particular distinction, because a lot of people tend to think that when you say tech, it's coding, Naturally, when you say tech, everybody's thinking, oh, okay, so I want to become that boy that wears round neck and then doesn't comb his hair. He's always carrying a bag, and then he's always looking gentle with a headset. Now that's usually what people think tech is. But then again, there's a lot more to tech than just engineering roles. And thank you so much for that insightful session. I'm sure that I personally have some questions for you. I'm sure that the audience also has questions. Guys, if you have questions for Akinola, you can begin to put those questions down in the Q&A feed now, so you don't forget. By the time we get to the panel session, we're going to take those questions and we're going to hear more from him. He's going to share more insights. And then by then, he would also be able to shed more light on what Aptlearn does and how young folks who are trying to get into tech can, definitely connect with Aptlearn and get into tech, basically. Right. So thank you so much, Akinola. I want to move over to Efosa right away. We like to keep our runtime under 1 hour, 30 minutes. Yeah. Hi, Efosa. What's up?
Yeah, good morning, Emmanuel. Yeah.
Morning,
Fine.
boss. How you doing now?
Yeah, thank you.
Good. Oh, so yes, first off, I should
Morning.
introduce Efosa and Akinola. Akinola meets Efosa, Efosa meets Akinola. It wasn't here earlier, I would have done that.
He looks like a proper tech bro with his hair.
Hey, people need to get time back here, but anyways,
Good morning, sir.
but yeah,
Good morning, sir.
awesome. So Efosa, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate the fact that you could take time out in a very short notice that I was able to give you to join us on the call today. I know that the folks here are definitely looking forward to learn from you. I'm particularly happy to have you on the call because of your transcending roles within the tech ecosystem, and then some of your roles outside the tech ecosystem, as a matter of fact. I know that you've done stuff in, I feel like personally, when I think of you, I think of your background to be in academia, right? But I know that you started with tech like even pretty early, right? But then again, so you went into academia, you've done academia stuff, you were a lecturer at some point, you know, and at the same time while you were doing that, you were still doing tech, right? I don't know if it's tell you about the that you're trying to do, you explained to us today. And then when you got into tech, even in tech, you've done like different roles. I know you've led programs within tech. I know you've led growth and product roles within tech. And I also know that you've done technical roles within tech as well. I mean, you were up until recently CTO at Eazipay, right? And currently you're growth lead at Eazipay. I know that at some point you're taking over product at Eazipay, and then other roles as well. I know you've also taken on operational roles at some tech organizations as well, right? And I mean, this is mind-blowing because you've basically eaten out of different pies, right? And I feel like you would have like so much knowledge to share with us because of your transcending roles within tech. Again, is it because this one did not work out, that's why you did this one, or you're just a man of many talents, you like to do a lot of things? Would like to hear that from you today. But then I don't want to take too much of our time. I'll just hand over the spotlight to you, and then we can hear from you for the next 20 minutes with your keynotes, and then we get into the Q&A session properly. So Efosa, thank you so much for being here again. Everybody, I hope we've given Efosa a warm welcome. Welcome. Can I get some love in the chat feed section for Efosa right now? Let's say welcome to him. He's here. He's going to share with us insights overloaded. We've heard from Akinola, awesome session. Now we're going to hear from Efosa. Efosa, you've got the floor.
Okay, thank you, Emmanuel. So first of all, I would say that I know that my keynote is supposed to be on sustainable careers in tech. Of a truth, if I look at tech for me as a person, so I'm going to start like for me, I think being in tech was a mistake, in the first place, So started tech from, so I wanted to be a mechanical engineer, and that was because I heard that mechanical engineers they make a lot of money, So I got into school and I'm like, okay, I want to apply for mechanical engineering. And they said, okay, we don't have mechanical engineering yet, but we have computer science. I'm like, oh, okay. Even though I don't know jack of what computer science looks like. So, but I just felt like, I could fit in, even though I was not sure. So this is how it works for me. So I think 100 level, those kind of students that you don't know, I think I had about 4 carryovers, and it was like I think my total CGPA was like 0.8 something, and they had to give me like advice to like if you continue like this the next semester in 20 level,
you have to job.
You have to like pave way and go and find destiny somewhere, and for me that was quite challenging because secondary school, like brilliant Efosa, smart Efosa, but I mean 100 level was just because I was struggling to understand what it was all about, because I was doing a lot of I think I failed a lot of computer science courses, even though 100 level was like So now just to progress, got into 200 level, really did not understand what tech is all about. Did not understand about what computer science, and what I'm talking about now, this is like 2010. 300 level, that was like nothing. So, but something that challenged me, and I'm trying to make a point here, is that there was a classmate of mine. That guy loves coding. The guy codes anything codable. Like they were teaching us Java, the guy knows it, C++, the guy knows it. I think there was one useless language they were teaching us then, is it Fortran or something? The guy knows it, and during IT, the guy was telling me he has gotten IT placement. We actually went to go and interview for IT placement in the same place. I was keeping to see what the guy was writing. I was copying rubbish, and they got the guy in, but they didn't get me in. And I'm like, what's like your destiny gonna look like? Like, looks like your destiny is like fading, So I had to just, beg my dad to say, please get me into any tech organization. Let me also know that I'm doing IT, because this was already 1 month into IT and I've not gotten an IT placement, IT placement, because I didn't know anything about tech. But God so good. The first point I was trying to make there was that your surrounding can challenge you into getting into tech. That's one. Now I got into the IT company, and I was like zero novice. But one thing was that I had people that every day they were writing code. We're building, as at then, the company was building like the software for the Supreme Court, for the Court of Appeal, for the National Industrial Court, for the police. So I had people writing code. So after like 2 weeks, people were writing code every day. I was just seeing code. I think that time they were writing ASP.NET, and they were writing like PHP and all those kind of things, and I was like, what, this code thing, I must know it. I can't go back and my colleague will be telling me about how his IT placement went and all those kind of things. I mean, I'm just going to come back and say, and, one good thing I had was that I had mentors, guys that were ready to dedicate their time to putting me through, So every day when I come to work, the first thing I do is I go to their table, I clean their table, for them. And I'm sitting down there because I'm also going to serve, so I sit down there and they begin to tell me, learn this, check out this video. I was also dedicated to, wanting to come into tech now. And that's how it progressed. I think after like 2 months, of doing that every day, then we had a new contract, and it was just a simple website for the Nigeria embassy to Angola or something. And the ambassador was going to visit, the company, and they were like, Efosa, you're on that project and you're leading the project. I'm like, how? But now this is the third thing, take up the challenges. Like, so I took it up and I'm like, yes, I'm on that project, and I was the first time in my life I was bragging to people that I write codes. And I'm like, and honestly, if I look back at that project right now, I know it was like a full copy and paste kind of thing. Just go and copy something here, paste it there. I didn't even understand what the code was doing. But fast forward down the line, 1 month after, website was done. Website looked good. But you asked me what the thing was doing, nothing. I didn't know anything. So I took up that project. And from there, I started working in tech. So one of the points I just wanted to make was, take on projects, have good mentors, get people that can motivate you, to do those things. Now, let me now go back to, and I just really mentioned like what the technical stuff is all about right now. So I just, we're talking about sustainable careers in tech. I want us to go back to like the foundation of why tech. Why do anybody want to get into tech, for God's sake? Like, tech is not funny. So why would anybody want to get into tech? I think I just have like two things in my head why you want to build like a career in tech. Is like, number one, is either you really love tech, like you really, really love tech. And number two is basically the world is changing. So I was looking at, I was trying to explain something to a family member some couple of weeks ago. I know while I was growing up, two major careers that were booming, was banking and oil sector. Like if you're working for a bank and you were in the oil sector, you had like crazy good life, crazy mad life. Like it was the envy of everybody then, But if you look at, money is moving from the oil sector, moving from banking into tech. And what I mean money, as at then, even at your entry level into the oil sector or into the banking sector, you're a big boy. Like I think, then we had salaries as much as 200K as like a recent graduate, and 200K, Jesus, was, I think, I left school at 2013, and 200K was a lot of money, like big money. Like, you see guys earning 200K, and they're like, I'm earning 200K, you know, and those kind of things, you know. But why do people want to evolve, like move into tech right now? Is because tech is now that career where you can sit down and learn for 6 months, and your first salary will be like 500K. Your next salary, if you're the kind of guy that move around, you can literally double that salary in like 1 year by changing jobs, you know, and in 1 year, you're earning 1 million naira. You know, let us even relax a bit. I know on Twitter, 1 million naira is small money, you know, on Twitter. But in real life, that me and you are right now, 1 million naira in Nigeria is big money. Like, it's very, very big money.
Very unreal place.
You know, I'm telling you. So what am I trying to say in essence is that one of the major reasons why a lot of people want to evolve into tech is because of the money, like, you know, because you want to be comfortable. Now, it now becomes a problem to people to say, come, do I need to go and learn how to code? Do I need to go and learn how to design? You know, and honestly, I was very happy when the first speaker was touching on the other soft roles in tech, because you see people trying to struggle to get into like the hardcore stuff in tech and stuff like that. So in Eazipay, let me just go straight into that. In Eazipay, you know, after we got funded by YC, we needed to like scale our business. And, you know, the guys that we're looking for to come into the company were not even core tech people. They were not core tech people. We're looking for a storyteller. We're looking for, I think we're looking for a content marketing person. We're looking for a product marketing person. We're looking for like a customer success person. We're looking for an excellent sales executive. You know, now, like, see all those roles that I mentioned. You know, we're looking for a content researcher. You know, so look at all those roles that I've mentioned, and none of them you don't have to write like a single line of code. So now, how do you prepare yourself for that kind of career? So right now, if today you are a writer, and you're like, how can I get into tech? You know, one of the things I'm just going to tell you, you know, as a person is be aware. That's the truth. Be aware. So let me give an example. There was this lady we just recently hired into to Eazipay. Now she's a very good storyteller. She came in for the storytelling position. She's a very good storyteller, but she was working for a one-man business, and I think the salary was ridiculous. Right? What I mean, ridiculous. You know, when she was coming into Eazipay, because we have like a salary structure, and she did all the series of tests, all the things we're looking for. I think she literally times 4x her salary, because at the end of the day, that's why I was trying to make my point. Like, people are trying to get into tech because of the money they are going to make, and that's the truth, and we cannot deny that fact. So she's now working in a tech company. She has times 4x her salary in the space of just 2 weeks or 1 month, and now everything, all the stories she's writing. Before she was coming from, you know, I think furniture making and all those kind of things. But right now, I directly supervise her. And right now, all the stories she's writing, she's trying to write stories about tech. She's trying to write stories about how to use tech, like use our product, definitely. She's trying to write stories about. So whether you like it or not, she has pivoted into tech, whether you like it or not. Now, if she's going to go for her next job interview with a tech company, the truth is, when they see like our precedent, like, oh, you've worked in a tech company and this is what you've done, she's going to get a better pay. She can literally continue that career for life. And she did not change anything that she was doing previously. All she needed to do was to be aware that we needed a storyteller in our tech company, apply for it, and use that skill to get the job. So I'm trying to also break that barrier of, I'm trying to break that barrier of, you know, I need to learn code, I need to do that. That's good. You know, that's excellent. You know, and the first speaker spoke about that. That's why I'm not dwelling on that. Now, the second thing is, when it comes to customer success, Jesus, I really wish that this set of people can know how valuable they are or they are needed in the tech ecosystem. Because at the end of the day, as a product manager, you build product. You're feeling fly about your product. The engineers have worked on the product. Customers will use the product now. And when you see that customers and before you get customers to use the product, you need somebody that would help you close or convince those customers or help them through like their journey to using your product. And even after using your product, that can stay with them to ensure that they are engaged and give feedback to the guys at the back end to say, come, these are what my customers are complaining about. These are what my customers want to see in the product. This is how my customers want to use the product. Now, you don't have to do anything about writing code. All you simply need to do is understand like the tech system. You need to be able to, like the first speaker said, you need to be able to interact. Just understand the product. Just understand the product that you're trying to be a customer success for. So most of the times, one of the major things that keep us from not moving into tech is we don't have anybody motivating us. So for instance, if you have a friend and your friend is earning maybe 1.5 million, is earning 1.5 million every month, and the person is maybe a content marketer, and you are earning 150,000 monthly, and you are a content developer, let me put it that way, I can assure you it won't take you more than 3 months to move into tech, because there's somebody around you that is letting you know that it is possible. So most people don't even have those people around them, so they don't see like it's possible. So first of all, break into the circle, be aware that these things exist. Now, number 2 is I would say that volunteer. Seriously, volunteer. And I mean volunteer on an actual project, like actual project, not just like any project, just volunteer on an actual project. So you know that you're an excellent content developer or a content marketer, you're very excellent. But the point is, you don't have like the experience in tech. Maybe you have experience in real estate, you have experience in other things. Look for a tech company, most especially tech companies that are just starting out, or tech companies that have not been funded, or tech companies that have just gotten like pre-seed fund, maybe anything under $400,000 or $500,000, because they want to also conserve. They don't have so much money, so they want to conserve like their spend. Now, volunteer for those guys. Maximum, I tell people, maximum volunteer three months. That's if you're not being paid, maximum 3 months. If you're being paid, you can extend, depend on you. Now, work on actual projects while you're volunteering. Don't just say, I'm volunteering, or if the company does not have an actual project they're working on, don't do it. Now, I recently just advised a family member. And what I told the family member was, you know what? This family member was coming from HR, like HR, and HR for a normal company. Now, there's a way people management work in tech and does not work in other companies. Now, if you bring your people management from other companies into tech, they will sack you because you will piss off, like especially the developers, you will piss them off, So I told him, you know what? What passion do you have? Okay, he said, okay, I have passion for UI UX, and I also want to understand people the more. You know what? Okay, now come into a tech company. I'm going to introduce you to a tech company. Volunteer with this tech company for like 3 months. Don't worry, I would, foot some of your bills, but just volunteer. 3 months. After 3 months, go and get a job. So I think in wrapping up, what I'm just trying to say is that you can earn like a decent living with even the current job you're doing right now, without even learning to write codes, without even learning to design, without learning to do front end, back end, even data science, or any of those things. If you want to do those things, you can go to the first speaker. You can go to their company; they will teach you. That's not me, But what I'm trying to just buttress here right now is with your current job right now, all you simply need to do is look for people that are working in that job space, and how do I put it now? Look for people that are working in that job space, move close to them, let them inspire you, volunteer for a company, take on projects, look for your next job in tech. It's as simple as that. Very simple. So I think that's all I have to say when it comes to sustainable careers. Now, but I think the last point, okay, I think I missed that. There is no, if you leave me alone, I want to, and that's why you see I moved from different careers, like you move from technical, tech, from operations. Two things that would never fade, no matter how the tech, is developing. Like sales will never go into extinction. So any job role that you get around sales in tech, whether it's customer success, whether it's sales executive, whether it's product marketing, whether it's content marketing, whether it's digital marketing, anything that is marketing and sales would never fade, because people want to actually sell their software. They want people to use their software. Now, there's another role that would never fade, and we don't take it seriously. In big companies, they pay them well, and I think I'll push it out and call them maybe customer support. Now, supporting like your customers. Oh God. See, if you want to go and learn something, go and learn to be an excellent customer support person. You can now blend it maybe with customer success. Believe me, you would always find job. You would always get job, and you will always get job in good tech companies. Because let me tell you the truth, every great tech company have one bug or the other that is disturbing their system that customers will complain about, whether like it or not. And they need people like you to help them curtail those customers to be in check. That's the truth, because they will launch new features. Some of those features might get into production, and by mistake, something happens. So I mean, those two roles, I can tell you that even developers, their job is being threatened, because we now have no code systems where you don't need to write codes. Basically, we now have, we get things like AI would what do you call it now? I'm trying to look for the English. It's not coming. But you see that would automate, writing codes and stuff. Now, what I like or not, these things are going to happen, and it's the truth. So I won't be needing developers. I won't be needing very senior developers to write some of these things. But as much as we do chatbots, we want to automate customer process. We are human beings. We need to talk to human beings. That's the truth. You see, people they are doing remote work, but they just want to leave their house. Except from extremely introverted people. Just leave their house and maybe just go to the streets and just see that human beings are passing, because you want to interact like a human being like you. So any human being interfacing job role is a job role to actually stick into, moving into tech. So in conclusion, pivoting into tech in simple English is leaving your current job role with a company that is not a tech company, even if they are using tech to support their operations, and getting a new job in a company that is a tech company. It's as simple as that. Thank you.
Awesome. Beautiful. Wow. Wow. And wow. Thank you so much, Efosa. I mean, this has been very, very much mind-blowing. It's been beautiful. Guys, can I get some feedback in the chat section? If you're taking away anything within that, 15, 20 minutes that Efosa was, sharing insights, I'd like you to just give a quick feedback on the chat feed section. I particularly love a lot of things you said. There are two things. Number one, let's start with the most important thing. Dude, what's up? Me and you, we know each other. We are friends. How come you never told me that I can come and 4x times 4x my monthly pay just by applying to Eazipay? What's wrong with you? I can drop any CEO or COO that I have. What is a CEO if he's not multiplying his monthly income? Oh God, come on.
We can't pay you, sir. We can't pay you. I can't lie to you.
I know
we are still a startup.
Can you imagine? I'm a startup too. I'm a startup collector. Just times 4 my currently pay, and I'm okay. All right. I like that you also had to break down the myth around, what getting into tech is. And I like your approach, which is getting into tech for the larger part of the people could just be leaving a company that is not tech focused and moving to a company that is tech focused. I think it's that simple. Leaving a company that is not a tech company and moving into a company that is a tech company. Because eventually, just like Akinola mentioned during his session, there are non-engineering roles. So you see product management, project management, you see content development, you see technical writing, you see customer success, customer satisfaction, you see customer support, right? You see marketing, sales, growth, product, lots of roles, right? Actually, those roles are the ones that make the actual tech possible to do the work that they say they want to do. Because the actual tech is more like just building. You mentioned that, Efosa mentioned earlier that, there are now no-code movements, which some of us might probably be aware of. We don't need to go too far. You see, Akinola right here has built a software that is a no-code, such that it helps people build mobile softwares without coding, both iOS and Android. So now you don't even need softwares to build softwares. You don't need coding to build softwares, basically, right? And yes, there's that whole issue with, is artificial intelligence, machine learning going to come and take the job of, technical or engineering roles in tech and all that. I know it's a dilemma, right? But either we like it or not, when it comes to the human touch aspect of any business, we still need humans to interact with. And I mean, particularly insightful session from the both of you. Thank you so much, Akinola. Thank you so much, Efosa. We're going to get into the questions section now. Before we do that, I'll just also share what my journey has been in tech, right? Or how I got in tech with the people. I did not start out to be in tech, just like Efosa mentioned. Efosa wanted to do mechanical engineering. He had some engineering stuff. I didn't start out to want to do anything engineering. I wanted to become a medical doctor because when I was graduating secondary school, there were only three, we had all those only three courses that you could do if you have sense, like you were good in secondary school. You can only consider three courses: medicine, I know there was engineering, and I think banking, right? If you're not doing those three things, you're not serious with your life. I do not know anything about arts or commercials. Why? Because in JSS3, they told us that if you are very good, go to science. Not so good, commercial. Yes, so if you know you are the dullard, go to arts. Now, so they carry the science. Oh my God. And really, that's usually like, I still say it today, that JSS3 for a lot of Nigerians is the very first career decision that we get to make. But we just don't know about it because most of us don't have career counselors in our secondary schools. Deciding to go into science, art, or commercial track in the senior secondary school is supposed to be a big deal. But we just go there now because I don't know about now in the educational system, but I know when we were there, if you know Buko, you don't even think twice. Why are you going to arts? What is wrong with you?
Science.
Okay, you go to science. And even there's peer pressure, all your friends that you guys are top of the class, everybody just carry their chair and they're going to science class. What do you want to do? Right? And then by the time I was finishing school, medicine was the only thing that I could think of. I did not know anything about. I don't know what I want to do. I shall know anything they say. We go. Right? Then I got into school. I wanted to go do medicine. My dad said I was too young. I should do degree first. I don't understand why he said that. I don't get it. I finished school at 14, thereabouts. So I went into school to do pre-degree. When we got to pre-degree, I was very nonchalant. Secondary school, now, you don't have to read. You don't have to stress. As far as you're in class, you see what they've done. You are good. You are good. But you get to university first year, by the first half of the year, my result came out. I'm like, hey, this is my result. And they say if you do not reach a particular cutoff, you cannot pass. You cannot enter university. As I thought about my life, I have to start reading, I have to take this thing serious. But then I changed my career. I decided, okay, let me go and do pharmacy. I'm going to share all this so that there are some of us here who feels like, they don't know what they want to do. And even tech for some people might just be, that's what everybody is saying. Should I just get into it? But yeah, I mean, that happens a lot at some points in your career journey. I decided to do pharmacy. I got into school. OA gave me biochemistry. I shall say I would do it like that. At some point, I said, okay, you know what? I like to talk. Maybe I shouldn't be doing MC up and down. I tried that MC thing. Apparently, comedian is not my work. I learned that the hard way. I'm not sharing the story here today. And then at some point, my friends were talking about aviation school and how pilots are making money. I'm like, I think I should go to pilot school. maybe I'll go and do pilot too, because people are making money. We used to see them decked up in white and their suits always respected and everything. But thank God my father never sent me to any pilot school. But yeah, there was that. There was the time where I thought I was going to be a footballer. I used to go and play football like steady, morning and evening, all the time. I didn't know what I want to do basically. But anyways, when I got into really good consciousness of what career is supposed to be about, I was already in university. I think I started out in HR because I used to do some stuff in youth empowerment, and I figured, oh wow, HR makes sense because it helps to build people, especially in the workplace and all that. From HR, I got into business development. I had not ventured into tech at all. But my very first HR job was actually in tech. And I thought, wow, this made sense. So I decided to come back to Lagos while I was still in school. I used to come and do internship here in Lagos. I interned for a company called Insidify at the time. Now they are called Seamless HR. They're a big company now. And it was beautiful. Wow. I loved, the whole environment. Everything was relaxed. You don't have to stress yourself, wear shirt and tie or suits to work. You can come in round neck and everybody is cool. Wow, okay, this is what the environment looks like. I like the flexibility. And then I started to, do a few things. And before I know it, by the time I got into business development properly, somehow, it wasn't intentional, sincerely. Somehow, I just realized that I was only doing business development for tech organizations. And then by the time I would eventually start building companies as well, I just, it was just within the tech space. And that's how, for me, to an extent, I kind of just stumbled into tech, but I love it particularly because of the why. Now it makes more sense for me to want to build businesses that would use technology to, solve problems, right? And so I just said that to show us that Akinola's journey was different. Efosa's journey was different. My journey is different. People's journey can be different, right? Even though the destination can be the same place, which is the tech ecosystem, right? And to a lot of us, wherever it is you're coming from, if you're interested in tech, there's space for you, right? So that's just that. I'm going to go into questions now. I can see some questions in the chat feed section. Beautiful. But I'm going to start with a very generic one, and I'll just allow Akinola to respond to this. Are there enough opportunities in the tech space? Are there enough job opportunities? So if the 1 million youth in Nigeria, for instance, let's say there are about say 5 million youth in Lagos, right? If the 5 million youths in Lagos decides today that all of us are entering into tech, are there jobs for us? Or is it a competitive space? What exactly is that space looking like? Am I going to struggle to get in there, or am I just going to have like easy entry? Akinola, please, can you just speak to that? Are there enough job opportunities in the tech ecosystem as of today? Akinola, you're muted.
Yes, sorry. I heard the question quite all right. First of all, I want to commend the second speaker. I loved a lot of key points that he touched, and one of it was the support aspect, which I really miss, because I've worked as a engineering support. When we were speaking in the morning, you called me and you were trying to get an insight about my career. My first job was a customer support for a German tech company. And my work is that I should help people reproduce issues that they have, and I should help them solve it. It was very interesting because I love solving problems. And, at least the pay was okay because they were paying me in euros. So, that's like part of what we've been talking about, part of opportunity that we've been talking about. And he made mention of like, all you need to do is understand their products. They gave me a whole month to study their products before they actually gave me the role that, okay, this whole month, what your job is to study the product, ask questions where it needs to be, check everything out, and then when you're done studying, you'll be able to help people that are just new to the product. And that was basically my work there. So although I write code too a bit because I came in as an experienced engineer, so there are times that they needed me to write codes, which I did, but most part of the work was just customer support, and it was really, really amazing. I wonder I forgot to mention that. Based on the question that the person asked, are there enough opportunity? Do you even have to ask? I mean, tech is the new oil. Like, the opportunity is flooding. And if you feel that there is no opportunity, you can create one for yourself. Take me for example. When I finished learning this old tech thing, not like I finished. Learning in tech is progressive because new thing keeps coming out every day. Prior to this moment, what we make app with is a language called Java or Kotlin. And then if you need to make for Android, you use Java or Kotlin. And if you need to make app for iOS, you learn Objective-C or Swift, both of which I knew at the time. And then Google just woke up one morning that, okay, we brought Flutter, come and create cross-platform. Yes, now, come and create cross-platform mobile app from a single code base. You know how fun that is? I don't need to write Java for Android. I don't need to write Objective-C for iOS. All I need to do is just write a single code base for Flutter, and then boom, I have an app on Android and I have an app on iOS. So, you know, new things keep coming out. So the learning is progressive. That's the point I'm trying to make. But the question that the person asked, if the opportunity is not there, create one for yourself. When I finished learning, I wasn't looking for a job. My sole purpose then was that I need to make some money because I've already spent a lot learning. So, and then what came into my head, because I told you this type of environment, Zoom was not even in existence. When did Zoom come outside? So, you know, this type of environment, this type of session that we're having now, we're not in existence. Nobody to give you a proper guidance that you can actually apply to this company to get this job. So my own impression was that let me build something that people can use. And then I follow Google through then, because, you know, part of even the scholarship I got was from Mandela in relation to Google for app development too. I said, like, let me just create an app that people can use. And I thought, well, I think about my environment. What problem can I solve? You know, at the time, you know what is the funniest thing at the time was that I am also an aspirant. I was trying to get into a university when I built the app. So was it like I just consulted with people that are already in the industry, like, okay, solving about, I employ some people to help me solve the past questions. And then I just go on my friend, we're just filling in the database with question and answer. And before you know it, we made an actual app that works. And then we put it on Google Play. So, you know, and one thing about Nigerian is that we have this sense of, you know, this sense of locality, this sense of promoting what is our own. So when people found out that the app was actually made by a Nigerian, that gives it more publicity and more downloads. So app was getting downloaded, I was getting money. So I was even getting a lot of money that, you know, it was so much that my parents at the time that then I got admission into Unilearning pre-degree remedial. So at the time I was making so much that my parents were concerned that Yahoo, and you know Yahoo was trending at the time. My parents came to my school where I was schooling to come and ask my friend behind my back that, what do you know about your friend? What do you know? So, because I was making a lot of money, too much for an 18 years old. Do you get? So if you do not want to look for a job, think about a project that you can build. There is something they call API, Application Programming Interface. Most of them already have the data that you may need to actualize your project. All you need to do is make calls to this API, and then boom, you already have a model that is working, that people are using. If you can think of an app that solves problems, create it. Put art and generate money. That will give you, you know, an enough. It's not like at the end of the day, it may be it's not like it's going to be sufficient, because you are always going to want more. Human words are insatiable, isn't that what they say? So but that one will give you an head start. You know, the money will motivate you. And then you will look for more. So you can get job, you can look for job. Jobs are everywhere. I get, you know, my friends that work in tech startup. I have my own startup of my own. I'm just praying that we get funding that we're looking for, and then we'll still bring in more teams that we already have now. So, you know, people are building startup, people are building products that actually solve problems, and they are not doing it alone. You can't do it alone. You can have the idea, but you need people to build it. Even let's take it back from when I built my app. Did I make mention of my friend that we were putting in the database together? He doesn't even know how to code, but he knows how to, write question and answer, and he helped me and I paid him. So, now talking about, is an actual company where they are building an actual product. So there's always going to be an opportunity in different fields in tech. So tech, like my co-speaker said, is the new cool, is the new oil. Before it used to be, what do you want to study? Somebody was talking about medicine. Yes, I was very smart in my secondary school. Very, very smart. And I wanted to study medicine and surgery. And when I think about it right now, I just laugh. See, when somebody was talking about it the other time, I was just laughing. Because, but I didn't think we had this proper orientation at the time that, there's actually in computer science. Would have, can I love computer science? Can I try to study computer science in school? But then it was either your parents are holding you on the neck that you must become a doctor or a lawyer, or somebody an engineer that works for an oil company. But then now things are changing and it is good. So there's always going to be opportunity. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that submission. Thank you very much. So I've heard you and Efosa mention that there is money in tech, and a lot of people come into tech for money. I was going to ask the question, should anybody come into tech because of the money? I'm not asking that question anymore because the both of you have said there's money in tech. People come into tech for the money. I'm already in tech, but I can move into a Efosa's company and 4 times my company, my income, right? On a monthly basis. That's
not true. That's not true.
Okay, it is established. We'll see after this call to finish that. But yeah, that's possible. However, there's a question I have. So, and Efosa, I'd like you to speak to this. How do people determine what kind of engagement they should, take on when they come into tech? And this is what I mean. There is freelance, there is paid employment, and then there is entrepreneurship when you come into tech. In any role, funny enough, in any role, there's freelance, there's paid employment, there's entrepreneurship. How do I determine which one I should do?
That question is very, very funny. And I think it's personalized. But if I'm going to answer it from my own point of view, I think that if you want to come into tech and if you want to do freelance, if you are the kind of person that you want to do multiple jobs, just do freelance, But if you're the kind of person that you love the 9 to 5, or you want to learn structures, you want to be able to understand how do a company work, stuff like that, yes, then do your 9 to 5. So because one of the things you're going to learn from a 9 to 5 is structures. So you're going to learn communication. You're going to learn so it's going to help you in your career, especially if you intend to start a company. Now, so should you, when you want to come into tech, should you just jump into starting a company? I can almost tell you from experience and from data that less than 1% of people that just jump into tech for the first time that start companies actually succeed. Less than 1%. But if you check most of the successful entrepreneurs, these are guys that they worked in a company. Even from working in the company, they saw a problem the company was not solving, and the company was too big to solve. And they moved and started their company trying to solve that. That's basically it.
Beautiful. Awesome. Thank you very much for that. So guys, it's a bit of a personal thing, really. Whatever works for you, as Efosa said, depending on the kind of engagements you want, besides the tech engagement, you choose whatever you want. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, it's not a child's play. That one is a very, very important part. So let's take it as Efosa said it. Right. We've talked about. So you mentioned earlier, Efosa, a bit of a gestation period. So you had this thing where you said, if you're trying to get into tech, after you're aware of your environment to see what opportunities are available, you should try and do stuff, right? Explore, which is what I like to tell people who don't know what they want to do. Just explore different things. You figure it out one way or the other. But you also categorically mentioned volunteering, right? 3 months for a company that is not paying you, and then longer period for a company that, if it's a paid internship, as you mentioned. Now, let's say you do get internship, right? And you started and you're learning and all that. Someone is asking here on the call that how long does it take? So if he is specific to say he's a back-end development person, is interested in back-end, right? How long will it take for him to fully understand coding? Let's even say to the point where he can make money from it. Let's ask that question that way. How long will it take for him to fully understand back-end to the point where he can begin to make money from it? Let me put that addition for him.
Okay, so I don't think there's a how long, basically. But one of the things I know that you can categorize, so I know 1 year to like 3 years in production is looked at in the ecosystem as maybe junior developer. Why 3 years to like 5 or 6 years is looked at as mid developer. Why anything above 5 years is looked at as senior developer. That's, I mean, production environment, not like you're building stuff that's not going to the public. I mean, production. So when you talk about how long to be a backend, there is no timing, honestly, because you can start after like 2 months and you are working on a project that they are paying you for. You might just be writing shitty codes. You might be writing nonsense codes. Your codes might not be optimized. But if you are working under like a mentor, like it may be an excellent backend person, they can tell you, no, this line of code that you're using 50 lines for, you need to optimize it and make it just 10 lines. Or you know what, break this lines of code that you wrote under one function into 2 different functions. You understand me? Or write this type of endpoints for the front end guy. You understand me? Don't let him call. He doesn't need to call data like this. Change. So basically, so there is. I think what I would just advise is that if you are new, don't learn on all these Udemy courses and Google courses alone. Learn with those things and go and start practicing immediately. So if they tell you hello world, write it. Okay. And now the best way to actually learn is look for a company. There are a lot of people that are looking for cheap developers right now. Avail yourself as that cheap developer, even though you are going to spoil their company and they want to spoil you. People are just deceiving yourself. The company will not launch. I'm very certain about it. And you understand me? But it has given you, that's the truth. The company will not launch because you don't know what you are doing. And the company too is saying they want to pay you like 50K. You understand me? So look for a company like that. Work on those things. I can assure you, when you work on those things for like 3 months or 6 months, because they also want to launch, they think they are going to launch. You understand me? So they will be pushing you to write many things. You see, I will be writing rubbish. You understand me? After 6 months, I would advise that. That's the truth. After 6 months, I would advise that you now go into like a structured company. That time you can come in as a junior developer or a developer intern, basically.
Awesome. I mean, guy, this thing you just shared about how that you should just go and do it, even though you don't know what you're doing. It works. I've used it in many of the careers, entry points of plenty careers that I've tried to enter, particularly because, everybody knows nobody wants to hire somebody who doesn't know anything, but they want to hire you thinking you know something. And then they're looking for cheap people to hire. I'll just go to such places. And then when I talk to you, don't entertain me in an interview, you give me the job. So after I've sat down and you have given me the job, I'll now go home and ask myself, how do we do this job? We'll now start doing them one by one and I'll be learning on the go. But yes, definitely that makes sense. So you mentioned mentorship, right? And I'm particular about that. Somebody already sent a question in regarding that, right? If you have mentorship, it's easier for you to learn. It's faster for you to learn, right? Because there's somebody that's going to be telling you, oh no, don't do it that way, do it this way, alongside with whatever it is you're learning and, whatever self practice that you're doing as well. And this question is to Akinola. Oh, Akinola, you wants to say something to that? No problem. By the time you come on, I want you to also answer this question. How do we, how is it possible for newbies in tech, right? Either the engineering or non-engineering aspect of it, to access mentors? Are there platforms where they can access mentors, and, get a more accelerated learning than just learning by themselves? Or must they have to do internship, to be able to learn some of these things? So Akinola, please speak to that, and then you can mention whatever you wanted to mention earlier.
All right. Hold on, please.
Okay.
Or what manager?
Yes. Use. Okay. What key are you using? Use PKC12. Node SSL.
We can hear you.
Yeah. Oh, my mic is unmuted.
Yeah.
No, I was just giving somebody a guide to do something.
Maybe you tell us what Node SSS is. So some of us don't know what it is, but you explain it sharp. It's part of tech.
Okay.
You know it's tech, it's Node.
Okay. Yeah, SSL
But yeah.
is just basically a certificate, and what I know that people that are not yet into tech can resonate with is that when you are visiting a website, you usually see a green padlock at the top of your browser. That means the website is using SSL. It means it is secured. And if you carry out a transaction there, it will be end-to-end encrypted. So,
and just to add to that, sorry to cut you short, just to add to that, in case you want to buy SSL for your website, please log on to hostmannow.com. We sell it 100%. Thank you very much. Please go ahead, Akinola.
Okay, wait, what? You guys are a hosting company?
Yes, now.
Don't know. Wow.
You are after this call, me and you are going to talk about how you're moving all your stuff away from your other hosting companies.
No. I would love to have a conversation with Efosa as well. So answering that particular question is actually a bit tricky. I'm going to speak on the first thing that we were talking about before, like Efosa made mention of volunteering, and it is very, very important. Even if all of you are doing rubbish in the company, shall volunteer, shall be part of something. First of all, it adds to your experience. No matter how rubbish it is, there may still time that you may need to use the rubbish, you may need to apply the rubbish somewhere else when you are working in a structured environment. So it gives you the experience as well. You get to talk about where have you worked, what have you worked on. Oh yes, that time we're working on a delivery stuff, and then we're writing some codes at the time, and then in fact we wrote a code that works, but then we never really launched till I left. You get something, you have something to talk about that you've worked for prior. And then I'm going to use something as an example, applying for internship, and it's part of volunteering. I think around February when Aptlearn launched, we took in some intern. And me as a person, at that time, and what Efosa needs to understand is that it's not all the companies that are funded. So it's because there is no money on ground. That's why there is no money to pay. If there is money on ground, there will be money to pay. But so I convinced, it's not even convinced, like I just put it out there, probably because of my influence on Twitter per se, that if you want to intern, you can come and gain experience. You don't need to overtly know how to code and all of that. Just apply for this internship at Aptlearn that we newly funded. I think I need to make mention of something. Aptlearn is not a Nigerian company, although we're focused on Africa, but it's incorporated in the UK. With this Nigerian regulation and all those stuff, and we are not actively operating as a physical company, so it only makes sense because of taxation. Then, I just put it out there that if you want to apply as an intern, come and apply on Aptlearn. And we had a lot of submission, a lot of people that submitted their application, and then we reviewed, and I brought in 3 of them. But one of them is so committed. Like, she asked questions, she worked very, very hard. And she brought in a value that I don't know where we would have been without her. So, and they're supposed to have 3 months intern. And I've had my CEO draft up a letter of employment, like we're retaining her. It's because our interns are not getting paid. It's a free internship. So if you want to come, that's part of the volunteering that I want to talk about. Like if you are coming, if you want to volunteer, you can also land your job from there. So we are drafting an offer letter. In fact, already drafted. I'm just waiting for all of them to conclude their internship. As I hand over a certificate to her, I'll also hand over that offer letter to her. So, because she brought in value to our company, because like I said, I don't know where we would have been without her. And she does not have any prior experience, but she's somebody that if I tell her that we are trying to do this pitch, go and read about it and give me a feedback tomorrow. She will do it neat, present it. Like, she was busting. In fact, the way I'm talking about her, you would see that she's busting brain, really, for somebody that is interning. So you might get your first, offer from, just being an intern, something to give you an head start to your career. So that is that about, contributing, volunteering. So what was that other question?
Mentorship, access to mentorship.
Hey.
How do people get access to mentorship?
That is the tricky part. A lot of people in tech, like I already said earlier, like, most people perceive us as proud, but we are not proud. We just don't have the time. I can't just be sitting with you and having unproductive conversation that you're still going to come to me about that. Okay, this thing that you now said the other time, I did not do anything about it. So what do you think about it? I asked you to go and do something. I've been mentored to a lot of people. That's why I'm citing this example. A lot of people don't know what to do. And then when you give them guide on what to do, they still won't do it. They still prefer to come back. You need to know something. Keep something at the back of your mind that you can't always be, you can always ask questions, but it shouldn't be about question all the time. You have to take actions when you ask questions. A lot of you here now are not taking note of anything. And you're supposed to be taking note of a lot of things that you are supposed to make your personal research on as soon as this thing has ended. It's not like you just come here on a webinar and you've not done anything, and at the end of the day, it's just a waste of your, 1 hour of being here. It's just 1 hour waste of your time. You need to take action. So, it is then that you'll be able to, centered how you want to go about it and all of that. So talking about mentorship per se, for me, I am, it depends on the person that you are trying to get as your mentor. A lot of people are open, like me. I am very, very, very open. But at the same time, I don't have a lot of time to mentor somebody. I try as much as possible to create that. Okay, I have a series of mentees that I'm mentoring, that I schedule time for them, that I will meet you on this day, I will meet you on this day, I will meet you on this day. A lot of people do not want to even mentor anybody at all. It's personal choice. So, but I don't really think you need to capitalize on mentorship that much, because already what your mentor will tell you is online. So all you just need is what you need is yourself. Your passion and commitment. It will help you a lot in order to fill in the gap of mentorship.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Efosa, what's your 2 cents on the mentorship topic? You're muted.
I think I just noticed. So I think when it comes to mentorship, the truth is always approach mentorship as an exchange, basically. Don't come to me to say that, Efosa, I want you to mentor me. I want to learn this, I want to learn this. You will learn nothing. Because honestly, I don't have time. So I look at my typical day. Sometimes I have meetings till like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the night, and the meetings start like 6 a.m., and the day runs like that. Weekends run like that, And like this morning, I've had meetings from like 9, had to end, had to come into this. And after this, I'm having another one. Now, but if I have needs too as a person, I have, whether I'm in tech or not, whether I'm a co-founder of a company or not, I have needs. Mm-hmm. So if you're coming to me and you're telling me that, Officer, what are your needs? You understand me? And how can I help you, solve your needs while you're also helping me solve my needs? Because the truth is, if you're solving my needs, I'm going to always have time for you, because there's time for my needs. So the time where you are coming into like a conjunction with my needs, there'll be time for you, basically. Mm-hmm. So I think approach mentorship as an exchange. Now that can develop into like a better relationship, and it's no more like a transactional relationship. But mentorship, first of all, is transactional, whether you like it or not. That's like the base. That's like the baseline. I don't know if you're going to give us time to talk about my company, but just so that I can just drop it there. If I have entrepreneurs in the house, Eazipay basically, we help you take care of your payroll solutions, basically, like your payroll basically in 5 minutes. So you want to pay your taxes, you want to pay your employee salaries, you want to pay your pension, you want to pay your HMO. In 5 minutes, all those things are done with Eazipay. So basically, that's it. Any other question? Fine. Take care.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for that, and thanks for talking about Eazipay. I definitely was going to have to ask the both of you to talk about your companies, and Akinola, you still get your chance to do that. But first of all, very quickly, I'd like to crave the indulgences of everybody on this call, speakers and the panelists and attendees, to give us a few more minutes. It's already past 11:30, so just give us a few more minutes, and then we'll be done from this call. But then there's still stuff to talk about, just a few more things to shed light on, and then we'll call it a day. But thanks for that. And then Efosa, you mentioned that what's it called now? Mentorship is transactional. Lovely. I think that a very easy way, a very good way for you to learn from someone who is already doing what you're doing, and you want to learn really, 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 is to combine what both Akinola and Efosa have said. Go and volunteer to the person, right? You have to do a lot of serious work on your own part. You have to, make sure that if they tell you 1, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before you come back to them. Not that you ask them, okay, I've done 1, how do I go to 2? It can get frustrating for them as well. A very good way, if you're not combining with, making sure that they also get value in return. I think executive assistance is a perfect way to learn from people while on the job. An executive assistant basically is somebody that assists you to do your exact job. Nobody knows this, but even developers can have executive assistants. Even developers can have executive assistants. It's not PA. I did not say PA. I did not say you're going to be buying food and be making coffee and be going to help them pick somebody in the school or go to bank. That's not what I said. I said executive assistant. It literally means going to help out with the person's job. Right? So you might get to do a lot of a few administrative roles, but you would learn that person's job, because the person will very likely sit you down and say, okay, so this is what I have to do. You go and do this part. Let me do this part. Or this is what I have to do. Okay, this is how you're going to do it if you don't know how to do it. And before you know it, you're working on a real life project. You're learning from the mentor that you want to, you need in your life. And then you're building yourself as well. Again, if you're going pursuing this from the learning and the volunteering role, don't go there looking for money. Go there looking for insights. Go there looking to learn from these people. But that's that. And thank you for that. So to the both of you, right? And this who introduces us to your companies. Somebody has mentioned here that can they get internship opportunities at your companies? So Aptlearn, Eazipay, are there internship opportunities that people on the call today can partake of? If they are, how do they partake of that? So I would like Akinola to go first. So in answering this, kindly introduce Aptlearn to us, right? And then let us know if there are internship opportunities, generally or specifically for people here, just because they're here and they've seen your face, they like you, they're asking, they want to come and work with you, they like how you work with people and all that, right? So Akinola, I'd like you to speak to that. Tell us about your company, and then if there are internship opportunities for young folks, and then I would also ask Efosa to answer the same. So Akinola, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Aptlearn. Aptlearn was the way we came about Aptlearn. Me and one of my content person at Swiftspeed. There used to be Swiftspeed, and then the idea of teaching people came about Aptlearn. On Twitter, I said it earlier that I was teaching people how to code, and then this massive turnout gives me the impression that a lot of people actually want to learn this, but they don't have the financial firepower to do so. So I just got in room with this guy, and then we started thinking, okay, let's start a new company. Can we start a new company totally separate from Swiftspeed? Before it was going to be part of Swiftspeed, yeah. We're going to add it as a product under Swiftspeed. I want Aptlearn to be big. I want it to be something like a public, something that I can bring more people to contribute. Swiftspeed is a little personal because it's my first child, so I still want to let it be a so one-man company like the way it already was. So I had to set up Aptlearn separately, and what brought about the idea is that we want to give accessible learning solution to people in Africa, because we understand the economy better. Talking about people, the resources they have, the equipment they have, the financials, So we're coming from that continent. So we definitely understand it better. And, I've not really seen anybody doing what Udemy does in African space. So that was what brought about the idea that, okay, let's start a company, let's set it up, let's, bring in an instructor that can come into Aptlearn. So if you're an expert here, that you can teach any tech related course. You can come to Aptlearn, upload your course, set a price, and then when you make sales, you take 80% of the sales, and then we take 20%. Exactly how Udemy, Udacity, and all this learning platform operates. So what inspires the idea is that something like that is not in Africa yet, like it's not popular in Africa yet. Can we take the market? Can we, so those are the idea. And then so far we are doing absolutely. For a 2-month-old startup, we have over 27,000 followers on Twitter. We are just 2 months old, and we have already, I think, 15,000 users. The last time I checked, 15,000 students. I'll call them students because we are teaching them tech stuffs. So, and then we have diverse topics like product management, project management, created by engineers themselves, created by people that have managed products, people that have gone far with experience in the industry that can give you the proper guidance that you need. And that is what these big companies do to this Udemy, Udacity. They just bring in. Udemy are not creating courses themselves. It's people that go onto their website and then create those courses that we take. That I was even part of people that I took some Udemy courses. I'm still taking, because I told you earlier that learning in tech is progressive. I'm trying to learn Flutter now. That is the new code base. I told you I'm an app person, so I want to learn Flutter as well so that I can diversify my skills. So talking about internship, our current intern will be done next month. So when they are done, they get their certificate, and we take in new people. And we are still going to continue taking in, of course, at the end of the internship, I intend to give them something along with their certificates, like, okay, you've served, thank you for coming. But what we are doing is, a no commitment internship, like there is no pay because we are not funded yet. When we get funded, definitely internship will be coming in, and then they will be getting paid. But because there is no fund yet, we have to manage the one that is currently being used by me and my co-founder. So I don't funding it for now. So there is no salary yet, or any type of wage structure for intern. Of course, full-time employee get paid. For internship, the current batch will be done next month, and then after that, probably we just rest for a bit with the interns for a month and try to still internally finalize how we're going to go about our products. Then we'll take in new batch. So definitely June. You can watch out. We have our social media, aptlearn.io. Just take a search. You find the company there. You can follow us. So when this opportunity comes up, you get to apply. And usually, the last time I put this out, we got about 300 applicants. We did interviews and everything to make sure that we got the right people. And it definitely helped. So the fact that you apply does not mean you're going to get in. So you just have to, this is what we're talking about, volunteer elsewhere, so that when a reviewer sees your CV, it, gives them a personal interest in you. So, so June, it is June.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. And the website is aptlearn.io. That's aptlearn.io. Yes. Let's log on there. You can even check the platform from time to time for updates on social media. You can check them out as aptlearn.io as well. Thank you so much, Akinola. Efosa, I'd like you to speak to the same thing.
Okay, so I need to be very truthful at this point. Getting to Internet Eazipay would be a lot difficult because right now we are not taking in any intern per se.
Because right now you have big boys. Yeah, you have gone to YC and come back. These guys have gone to YC. If you know what YC is, that's Y Combinator. That's like the Oga Patapata of incubator and accelerator. Anybody in tech is looking at now. This guy is balling. He doesn't want to employ
when he said YC, I was God.
He has gone and come. They're giving him money. It's not. I can tell them how much they collected, but let me not talk. Continue.
God, when?
It's my salary. I'll come and meet you personally.
Okay, so as I was saying, because we're trying to like build our culture and build our structures, and because of our culture as a company, I know we have a policy that we don't want to bring in anybody and we don't pay them, and at the same time we're also looking at our burn rate, and our growth rate. So for now, because everybody's on steroid, like everybody's working on steroid, so bringing in might not really help like the intern, because I don't have, like, for instance, I don't have time to coach anybody. My co-founders, both of them, don't have time to coach anybody. Like one of the senior executives, like we don't really have time for that right now. But I know that there are few other companies that I know that might want to, intern and stuff like that, basically. So I that's it. But when the opportunity is out, I can always reach out to us now to say, us now we now have opportunity in Eazipay in case anybody in your clique, But when it comes to personal mentorship, it depends on the person. If I have time, yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. So guys, you've heard it from them. They will both share opportunities with us definitely when they do have, and I'm sure they would also share on their social media platforms as well. So please do well to follow both Aptlearn and Eazipay online. And then this last question, someone just wanted to know that what kind of companies would you recommend for internship if you're a product manager? Like you're looking to start a career in product management. I mean, Akinola, you can answer this. You've spoken something about that earlier. If you're looking for a career in product management, what kind of company should you look towards for internship? I'm personally looking for recommendations, but I don't know if you have recommendations, but just speak to that, Akinola.
My mic is on. Look for a company that are in need of product manager. I mean, that's how it works. It's that simple. You find a company that wants product manager, and what I would recommend is that get involved with your LinkedIn. Take your LinkedIn very seriously. The way you take Instagram and Twitter and most of your active social media, if you're active on Facebook, take LinkedIn that way as well, because you can basically apply for jobs via LinkedIn. I've gotten jobs from LinkedIn before, so you can basically apply for jobs via LinkedIn, and there is a lot of product management roles that LinkedIn posted all the time. So if you are looking for a job in product management or project management roles, you can take your LinkedIn very seriously. I mean, that gives you more accessibility than personal connections. So that's what I'll comment on that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So guys, that's it. I mean, a lot of us have access to some of these things that we just don't know, right? Google works. LinkedIn works. Just Google jobs. You go to Google jobs. If, for instance, and this is something I like to do, if you're looking for, say, internship right now in product management, go to Google, search for product management roles. Search for product management roles that are open, the recent ones, and then you will see the organizations that are looking to hire product managers. Now, reach out to those organizations and tell them that you can intern, that you've seen their advert for a product manager, either junior or senior. You're not there yet, but you can intern, maybe because you've learned for a bit, maybe you've learned for 6 months and you have some ideas. You can bring some of those ideas to the table as well to intern for the organization while you also contribute to whatever it is they're trying to do. And you're willing to do that for free. It is not the role they're trying to fill. It is that you are coming to contribute. It will shock you that there's a possibility that they would bring you on to intern, right? And then you would also become the product manager in a few months in that same organization. It happens, right? It happens. And all you just have to use is LinkedIn jobs, Google jobs, and that's it. Just those two tools only, LinkedIn jobs and Google jobs, will give you these opportunities. Like, it happens a lot. So just use Google, use LinkedIn, get familiar with the platforms, and as much as possible, if you apply to one, they did not agree, apply to second one, apply to the third one. By the time you apply to 50, one will agree. And I know why I said that. I said that because sometimes there are bottlenecks, but either you like it or not, if you continue, consistency always works. Consistency always works, always works. So that's just, I just like to say that. And I mean, our time is fast spent. We've gone overboard about 20 minutes. That's over our schedule. However, we have come to the end of this session. I'd like you guys to do something. Don't just let your learning be restricted to this webinar. I hope that you continue to engage other opportunities, to learn from people like Efosa and Abdulaziz as well. You can follow Efosa and you can follow Abdulaziz. Check out Efosa on LinkedIn. His name is Efosa Uwoghiren. His surname is spelled Uwoghiren. Uwoghiren. Put it up on LinkedIn. Connect with him on LinkedIn. He puts up content from time to time. You can learn from some of those things he's doing. There is somebody in the chat feed section, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So, oh, sorry. I meant Akinola. That's true. I was trying to call you when I mentioned Abdulaziz. Thank you. Sorry. So yes, follow Efosa Uwoghiren on LinkedIn. You can follow him as well. I'm not sure if he has a social media that is all this Twitter. And I think he's on Twitter. Yes, he's on Twitter. Efosa is on Twitter. Thank God for that. Right?
I'm on all of them, but I'm not very active. I'm active. I see those things, but I don't post anything. I'm just there.
Okay. But you can reach
Somebody
out.
has even reached out to me from the course already.
See? Awesome. So you can reach out. I'm sure they would engage with you when you do. As well, follow Akinola too. Please do follow Akinola. On LinkedIn is Akinola Abdulakeem, right? On LinkedIn. And on Twitter, you can also follow Akinola on Twitter to make sure. I think he's more active on Twitter, right?
Yes.
He does a lot more stuff on Twitter. So you want to follow him on Twitter as well. I think he's I got you. Abdulakeem as well on Twitter.
Agbakeem.
Right? Oh, Agbakeem on Twitter. So guys, you can check out Agbakeem on Twitter and connect with him so that you can, continue to learn from the content that they churn out, right? LinkedIn and Twitter usually works for most people, so do that. And then their websites as well. You can definitely also follow me, Emmanuel Osubu, on all social media, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. But usually I use Twitter more for thought leadership stuff and LinkedIn. So Emmanuel Osubu is the name. Just check it out, and then you get more updates. I get to host a lot more shows like this, webinars like this. I tend to share opportunities as well, internship opportunities as well. Actually, I did. There's a training that we recently started. I shared it up on there. So there are a lot of these things that you might want to connect with me with, so that you can learn as soon as I post them up as well. So guys, thank you so much. Don't forget aptlearn.io. Go and check out the website, see what it is, what's possible for you to learn there, and then take up the challenge and start learning something. You can reach out to Akinola whenever you need to on any of those social media to say, okay, I've started on Aptlearn. This is what do you think I should do? If he has your time, fine. If not, if you know how to craft content, you will have your time. Don't worry, you will get his attention. But yeah, that's that. And then for easypay.ng, please, if you're an entrepreneur here, you need an easy solution for payroll, please check out easypay.ng. That's EAZIPAY.ng. Easypay.ng.
I'm checking it out.
Awesome. EAZIPAY.ng, right? And then again, you can connect with Efosa to ask him one or two things about the product or the solutions that they provide. And I'm sure nobody will ignore you if you ask them about their solutions. So he will answer. You want to make money. So there's that, right? Again, you can also follow us now. If you need web services and stuff like that, definitely that's what we do. Hosting, domain, cybersecurity, and all that. That's our thing. So thanks so much, everybody. Thank you very much, speakers. Thank you very much, attendees. It's been a wonderful, wonderful session this morning. I hope that whatever it is you learned today is a seed that would, germinate and then help you build a beautiful career within the tech ecosystem. And I hope that we would also see you join other editions of our webinar next month, and then the month after, and the month after. Again, I say thank you, and thank you. Efosa, would you like to have a final word for the people? You know, a few seconds, just say whatever, I don't know, final words.
Okay, I just think that go out more, don't be too introverted people, be aware of your environment, and just do it. Enter into tech, do it.
Beautiful.
Basically, nothing.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So that's it. Akinola, final words for the people while we round off.
Exactly what Efosa said. Go out more and explore.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Enjoy your very long weekend. Rest. Make sure you relax, and then make sure you also do some personal development endeavors. Thank you, and then see you next month. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a good day.